Pickers, Mighty Mike picking weeds vintage.
Hello.
It's overcast and it's only going to go to the low 50s on this first day of April. So glad you can join us. My dad is staying with us right now and we're really enjoying his company. He got a new camera and has a new lens he wants to try out. So we're going to do some traveling around looking for some cool things to photograph. But we're also excited about getting this piece appraised. George the Antique Nomad is going to be doing a video chat with us later today, this afternoon at 1:30. And this is a signed Salvador Dali piece. It says EA right here, which I think stands for Artist Proof. And we're going to learn all about it on this edition of Pickin' Weeds Vintage. So glad that you could join us today. So we were at the Green Dragon and it is 48 degrees, kind of rainy. We saw some beautiful farms and some interesting things, but the sun went in and we didn't get a whole lot with Dad's camera. So we're gonna see what we can find here at the Green Dragon. Probably some soft pretzels and something to eat. But he's enjoying his new camera. Look at these wooden tables with the bears on them. A log table. Peaceful Valley.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, sir. Sir. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh my goodness.
Hi!
I said, but I bet you we'll run into these two.
How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you too. John, you'll never guess who's here. We just got here.
I told you that we might run into them. We just got here too. We were actually driving down to Lancaster County to look for farmland. And, you know, Amish and the farmers and working the fields. And it was sunny on the way down. We got to Lidditz and then the sun went in.
Oh, you were lit, because I would
Get Mike in there with you.
Okay. Oh, he wants to see.
But I haven't had any breakfast. I said, let's go to the Green Dragon. I'll get a salt pretzel or
I
something.
have to come here all the time.
Well, Mighty Mike on the mic here, as Gomer Pyle would say, surprise, 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 Sergeant Carter. So, yeah, my sister Donna playing a trick on us. And what are the odds? A place like the Green Dragon in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, beautiful Lancaster County. It is such a cool place to visit. You run into her, and she spent some time with a childhood friend. They're still friends today as adults, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, we're here. I'm not a big primitive person, but as soon as you walk in here, I had to use the bathroom and had low blood sugar, looking for something to eat, get some soft pretzels, whatever. But yeah, the handiwork, you have to admire that, and even primitives. I remember there was an episode of American Pickers where Mike Wolf said even the good primitives are really good, and it stops, it grabs your attention. I love nature. I love any kind of artwork or an artist's handiwork, whatever. So, you know, it's fun to go to these different places. And if you're a picker, you're a reseller, you're always looking for something that kind of stops you in your tracks, as we like to say. But yeah, they have beautiful handmade, hand-carved, polished furniture, painted furniture, the whole 9 yards here at this particular place at the Green Dragon. The Green Dragon's been around forever, and when I was growing up, we used to go there, and we would take family or friends that were visiting. We'd go over the summertime, and it was just a lot of fun, and just love going to the Green Dragon. Years ago, it was mostly Pennsylvania plates I'd see out in the parking lot. Now, some days, depending on the weekend, a holiday coming up, whatever, and you'll see more out-of-state plates than you will from Pennsylvania, because it's really become a tourist attraction for that good old Pennsylvania Dutch fare and the crafts, the handiwork of those artisans that are very talented. Of course, these are a lot of primitives, but some of them probably made from the artists and Amish folks, Mennonite from Lancaster County. Some beautiful furniture is produced in this area of the country, as you know. But now here we're walking out into, actually I'm walking out. My dad stayed and chatted for a little bit, and we ran into Donna and Wendy a couple more times while we were here. And then I lost my dad, but I thought, hey, I'm going to film here and just show you as to why, you know, at 54 years old, as I call it, I'm still in my winter weight. But we're going to lose some pounds here when we get out there at the Flea Oak. Some monkey bread. But you can see the good eating in our area in Lebanon County, Lancaster County, and Berks County. We know how to eat. Grossa sandwich, yes. It is phenomenal. The food is amazing. And cholesterol and calorie-free, right? I wish. But yeah, there's some bear claws, and you'll find it all at the Green Dragon. Lots of places to sit down and have some lunch, some breakfast, some dinner, whatever the case may be. Now, it's only on a Friday, so make your plans. I saw a tour bus here. Actually, I think there were two from Toronto, and I guess they were going to Sight and Sound to go see a show, which that's another wonderful place. They retell stories from the Bible, and it's just like you're going to Broadway in New York City. But then they took it into the Green Dragon, and they went shopping for some meats and cheese. Don't tell my cardiologist. But yeah, you can you can spend a lot of money at the Green Dragon getting something to eat. Some people like to go there at the farmer's market and shop when there's a holiday. You know, some of the summer holidays, Memorial Day or 4th of July or Labor Day when they're having picnics or family friends over. It's a great place to get some good eats, as they say.
One of the cheesesteak, whatever those things are.
One of the buffalo chicken.
One of the buffalo chicken, and one of the pepperoni and cheese.
Some of them are $5 and some of them are $3. They're $4.25 are the ones that we're getting. Oh yeah.
Okay, so once that's done, tell me and I'll get you the more.
Half of it is the other half you're not eating. I'm not gonna break it. So.
Hi, can I get 3 for $4?
Anything else?
That'll do it. And if you have some that came out of the oven, that's great. If not, no worries. Whoa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Can we have 2 regular pretzels?
Yeah, can I have a bottle of water?
And then a medium straight. Good, thank you.
Yeah.
He's FaceTiming us at 1:30. So we need to be leaving Green Dragon probably by 12:15, 12:30 at the latest. That gives us a good hour to get back, but I figure we'd have our lunch here and then we'll head back so we don't miss George's call. It's neat. All right, we'll go around this way. There's a whole nother row over that way. But this old
I
Coca-Cola.
saw you walk down there.
Yeah. Boy, that's
I thought,
neat.
well, maybe you went into the
That's a cool piece.
in that long one where I saw that one in there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it.
The Green Dragon is year-round, and I believe they're only closed on major holidays if it falls on a Friday. They're indoor and they're outdoor vendors here, and it is a place for resellers to set up. They have a big field. However, this was a rainy, overcast, on and off rain. Sunshine would come out, and it just wasn't user-friendly for people in the field selling antiques, vintage items, collectibles. There were some other resellers that are there every week, and they had a tarp or under a canopy or tent, whatever. But yeah, come hungry. That's my best advice for the Green Dragon. If you're going to come here, and I highly recommend you come to Southeast Pennsylvania and check it out. There's so many wonderful places to see. And here's some Glick's sauerkraut, 1 pint or 1 quart. Can't go wrong with that. But yeah, so many great places to visit in Lancaster County. But this one you have to put on your to-do list for a Friday. Come hungry. A lot of people like to get the sticky buns. And I don't even think I filmed that. But there were many areas we didn't even have the time to be able to go through the whole thing. It's a big place, and you really need a good half a day to check out the Green Dragon there. There are some people that go every week, and they'll park their car, and they'll go to their favorite vendors and get beef jerky or meats, cheeses, whatever they need. Whoopie pies. Come on now. These are amazing. And then they'll just get back in their car and drive home. But it is really fun, and you do run into people from all over the country, all over the world, that like to go to the Green Dragon. Look at those pies. Wow, wow, wow. But yes, that's the main number one rule, is come hungry to the Green Dragon. As you saw there, I got up early in the morning, and I was packing some things for the post office, and I made my dad breakfast, and I had a banana and like 2-3 cups of coffee. So we got there. It was after 11, and I was dying. I was like, I got to go to the bathroom, and I have to, I also needed to eat something else. But I think the food won over. I finally found a bathroom then, and I found my dad, and he found me. It's just amazing how all of a sudden he walks out of the one building, and then there I was. But yeah, we're getting ready to get some sausage dog sandwiches with red sauce and onions. Those are wonderful. I told you we were going to FaceTime with George. We actually Skyped, and it was fantastic quality. I highly recommend you do an appraisal with George the Antique Nomad. He's really good.
It's only April 1st, but I'm surprised at all the produce that they have. The sugar peas and so many items that you think would be later on in spring or even early summer that they already have out here. It's probably in a greenhouse, huh?
Yeah, you're just amazed at the food that they have for sale there, the snacks and the vegetables, the produce, fruit, whatever you are looking for, baked goods. There's some homegrown Jerusalem artichokes. So I recommend everything. Try a little bit of everything, and then go on a diet right after you come back from the Green Dragon. No, it's fun, and we just had a great time. My dad really enjoyed. We had a wonderful trip. I'm putting the voice over it now that he's gone back to New York with my sister, and we had a wonderful time. Can't wait for the next episode too, when we went down to Conowingo Dam to check out the bald eagles, and we saw a bunch of them. So that's coming up in a future video. But we're just so happy. Look at those flowers that they have. They're hand painted, hand carved. I mean, it's just wonderful. All the things you can find for your home, your garden. If you're looking for gifts for somebody, this is a great place to shop. In fact, sometimes you buy for your parents around the holidays for Christmas. I would go to the Green Dragon because I'd find a one-of-a-kind unique gift. See there, my dad was taking a picture of me, and I was taking a picture of him. He just loves that new camera and new camera lens that he got, and he just couldn't wait to use it. That's why the final day that he was with us, final full day, we took him down to Conowingo Dam, which was just over the Pennsylvania-Maryland, at the border there, the state line, and we had a wonderful time with that. Can't wait to put that video together for you to view.
I bet you that'd be fun to go into. Starts at 3:30 p.m. and they're doing the unloading right now. See the rabbits? It's windy. This wind is for real, huh?
Yeah.
When was the last time you've been here to the Green Dragon?
It's been a couple, 3, 4 years.
What did you and Mom usually get?
We usually get, I don't know what we get. Sometimes we would get a, what do they call it, Philadelphia. Thin, sliced roast beef, which they put under, they put it on the table and fry it a little bit, and then they put, if you want, you can put onions on it and all that stuff. It's good.
You're welcome. Look at all the candy apples. Homemade pecan turtles. Everything is good here. Made from scratch. Look at those marshmallows. Wow. They're cute.
Although while we're here,
It's down here.
I bought
You want sauce and onion on yours? It's a red sauce, like a pasta sauce. And you want a small?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me you're going?
So here's where they make it right here. Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yep, I'm good.
A small is $5 and a large is $7.
Anything else?
Yeah, we gotta go up here, Dad. Here.
Okay, now I think I got it. I know I put a lot extra in, but where I put it, so it's at the same.
Here, they have samples. You want to try one?
Still buying food for your son? Is that your son? You're still buying food for him like you did as a kid?
We're taking him out to eat tonight.
Oh,
He eats more now than
he eats more than ever.
because he's 6'8".
He's pretty tall. I
Yeah.
have a grandson pretty tall.
Do you? Yeah.
I think he's 6'4". He's my
Okay. Does he eat a lot too?
I think the leg is hollow. The wood
Yeah,
the leg
yeah.
is hollow.
Well, the problem is now the metabolism's starting to slow down.
Yep, you're still.
So you got to watch out for that. If you're not active, it can catch up with you pretty quick.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing? All right. Well, let's have a word of prayer and then.
Here, I'll play.
Okay.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this new day that you've given us. We pray, Lord, that you would give us opportunities to tell other people about Jesus Christ and their need for him. We pray for that in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I got Snapple. So that's for a drink. She did put some napkins in here. Here you go, Dad. Here's yours. Here's mine. Here's some napkins.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wow, look at that. Sandwich. Wow.
Comes out this way.
Mm-hmm. How is it?
Right.
Just enough sauce, just enough onions, and the sausage is really good.
Right.
It's perfect.
Those sausages, they're not hot. This is the way I like it.
So it's more of a mild sausage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really got windy and kind of cold. Mm-hmm. But it stopped raining and the sun came out. I think Donna had me here. She goes, now stop it. No pictures, no photography, no filming. What's going on here? Mm. And I didn't even look over at her. I was trying to ignore her, and then I realized it was my sister. Not a fan. I know. Not a fan of what? Not a fan of a certain team or sports? Snapple really goes well with the sausage dog.
All of those houses have been built since I've been here.
That probably was a big field, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was delicious. I feel like I inhaled my sandwich.
You did.
Former radio guy eats fast. That hit the spot. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hey, George. Happy Friday. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Very good. Nice to see you, and I'm glad this worked out.
Yeah, and actually, the quality. Me too. The quality is amazing.
It's really good. I'm surprised how Skype has really improved, and I just am finding it's easier to use than some of the other systems and more compatible with other things I'm doing. So hopefully it'll work out.
I mean, you look like you're on NBC television or something. You know what I mean? The lighting's amazing. The camera. Can I introduce you to my dad, Dr. Donald Faust?
Hi, George.
I am very glad to see you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm excited to see this piece that you have. So how did you get this?
How did I get this? I got that one, I think it was probably in the 1980s. One of my patients, I was a cancer specialist, and one of my patients wanted to thank me for just treating her, and she presented this picture for me, and I thought, well, I'm not much of in the artist category, so I gave it to Mike, and he kept it for me, and now it's time for me anyway to get rid of some of my things, and my wife went to be with the Lord 2 years ago. This is her birthday today,
Aw.
April
It's my
1st.
sister's birthday today. Some good people came on this day.
Amen.
Right, and so, like I said, you go ahead, Mike, and take care of it. And when you're ready to talk to someone else, I'll just be there to sort of lend whatever small part that I have for it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when we found you through Jocelyn, the crazy lamp lady, because we were watching Blue Bus Dave and Jocelyn, and then we got turned onto your channel, and we love it. You're one of our favorites. We watch all of them and stuff. I actually had Dr. Lori from the History Channel. I used to be in radio, and I had her on my show, and I presented it to her. Her schedule's crazy busy, and she said, bring it to a show when I do shows. But then I heard you at the end of one of your episodes, or in the middle of the episode, you said, hey, I do appraisals, and I thought, I'm going to email you. And you got back to me the next day. I was like, I would love to have George appraise it.
Well, thank you. That's great. And this is it's a category I like very much and know reasonably well because I spend my winters in St. Petersburg, Florida, and that's where the Salvador Dali Museum is. And it's a long story how it came to be in St. Pete, but the museum expanded about 3 years ago, and it's now the largest Dali museum in the world. And because of that, the museum in his hometown in Spain sent several masterworks that had not been displayed for years because they didn't have the room. And so now the Dali Museum in Florida is actually the biggest and the best display of Dali in the world. So it turns out to be kind of topical. Now, one thing I will say about my appraisals that's a little different from Dr. Lori's is that Dr. Lori, she speaks in terms of, her realm and her world is near the top end of the market, and that's a good place to be if you can get there. It doesn't always translate to what people like you and I might be able to sell something for in our world, depending on timing and how we go about it and what the market is at any given time. She tends to give more like an insurance appraisal value a lot of times, and what I'm going to try to do for you, because I'm hearing from your dad that it's time to maybe let this piece go, is try to give you an idea of recent actual selling prices for these pieces, because there is an active market for them. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And one of the questions that we had was, because we have an eBay store, I'm a reseller just like you, and should we do that, or should we go to like the Kleinfelter's auction house right down the road here in Lebanon County, or go to Renninger's, or any of the reputable places here? He actually lives up in the Syracuse, New York area with my sister Donna, so he's visiting us right now, but I know they have auction houses in New York City, as you know, so we're very anxious to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely, and the answer to that may have to do with how fast you want to sell the piece, and if you're going to send it through an auction house, even though you'll have my information and what I think things are selling for, you'll want to get a pre-auction estimate from them if you decide to use an auction house, because they will know their market and they will know whether they have an active market for these pieces or whether the market for them is soft and it would sell better somewhere else. So you'll definitely want to get their opinion too, if that's how you go about doing it. I have to be truthful, I see a lot of closed sales for pieces in this series on eBay. So I do think it's something you can handle yourself if you choose to do that. And then the question is, what would you price it at and how would you do it? Would you put it at a fixed price? Would you put it at a starting price with a buy it now option? And we can talk about that a little bit too.
Awesome. And George, are you ready to check out the piece?
Yeah, I'm ready to see it.
Awesome. So I'm not sure how to turn the camera around on Skype, but let me just turn around the, I got the lighting in here. Dad, you want to hold this for a second? I'm going to turn the light down. Just hold it like that. And then...
And I am familiar with the piece too, because like I say, he was really prolific in the time that this particular piece was done. In the late 50s and early 60s, he was probably at the peak of his career, he was a darling of the art world, and he was producing a lot of these. I know that a lot were sold at the Seattle World's Fair in 1962 in their art pavilion, and those typically tend to be the black and white, and they're a little smaller, and they sell for $500 and $600 a piece now. Your piece is better than that, but it is something that we see go fairly often at auction now. I think there were, if I remember right, there was something like either 18 or 26 in this series. It was a fairly large portfolio, and I see the artist proof, and artist proof is definitely something that is desirable because Dali did something late in his career that we kind of wish he hadn't done. He signed a whole bunch of blanks knowing that he wouldn't be around forever so that they could print additional printings on those blanks. So the fact that this is an artist proof means that it actually came back to him and went through his hands, and that's important.
Oh, definitely. And then that does, George, that does look like a live signature. It almost looks like he used a colored pencil. Is that his signature there in the bottom right?
Yeah, that's definitely his signature, and the fact that it's AP means that it is his real signature. So everything about it seems to add up just fine. And as far as values, so I can start with recently completed eBay values, and then we can go from there.
Okay, great. And then
A little bit of, go ahead.
oh, just one more thing. Sorry to interrupt. So under the EA,
Get down.
I just noticed this for the very first time, and we've had this for a while, but now that I have the studio lights on it, the paper is indented, and it looks like it says something there, FHA, or GGH.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's a cartouche from the printer, and
Okay.
that's actually good because that is also legitimate. That's something that you'll want to show if you were to sell it yourself. You'll want to definitely mention that and show that up close in the picture, along with a close-up of the signature, and then obviously a picture of the piece itself. And I usually do one in the one with it up close where it's just the image, and then I do one with the frame. And when you're dealing with a better piece of art, I would give measurements of both the image framed and the image, just the plate itself.
Okay.
Because I think that will help your buyer. Now, recent sales of this piece on eBay, and eBay isn't always the best choice, but eBay is a place that we all have access to, and there were several recent sales of this piece and others from this series, and all of them seem to be selling in the $1,200 to $1,450 range as a general price range. I saw a lot of sales $1,250, $1,295 plus shipping in that range. And that would be, to me, because again, that's the most accessible marketplace, to me that's kind of the starting point for these items. If you were to have it in a place where it was, if it was in St. Petersburg, Florida, in a gallery where there's more people who are hot for this and who have been to the museum and are all excited, I would think that you might see closer to the $1,500 to $1,650 range for this piece. And I suspect that if Dr. Lori saw it, that she would probably tell you, because again, she's basing partly on insurance value, which is a higher value, and partly because, she's in an area where she knows the movers and shakers in the art world, and maybe we could get this placed at a particular gallery or a particular auction that specializes and is having an event that's focused on Dali, and that might, with that kind of extra publicity, you might expect a higher price. I suspect she would probably say $2,500. I can't say for sure because I don't know her personally, although I've seen her work before, and I've watched her enough, and I kind of see where her values are relative to what I see in my marketplace, and I suspect that's what she would say. So as far as the question of where to sell it, my feeling is that if you were to put it on eBay yourself, I would try to go towards the top end of that range that I told you, closer to the $1,500 mark. I would put it in your store. I would put it at definitely put it at the top end of the range and maybe allow people to make offers and decide what you felt was a reasonable offer. And you could even try to push it a little farther, although on eBay, one problem you'll have if you do that is they can go and compare with a bunch of others, and there usually are a few of these available at any given time, because this isn't a small edition. I mean, even though it's an artist proof, there are a lot of them. So you might have trouble with it being in a place where there's a lot of competition. So then the question is, well, can you send it to an auction house where maybe it would have less competition and be focused on that buyer? And I would say that auction houses, that if you have somebody in the area, you mentioned one in particular, and I have to be truthful, I'm not familiar with them. If it's an auction house that really specializes in artist prints, or is having an auction that's really focused on Dali or Dali and other modernist artists, I would think that you would do better in that environment than a general auction house, even if it's a good auction house where it's just one piece amongst the group. I would think you would want to find some place that's more focused on artist prints. The truth is, most auction houses that do art, if they're doing something where there's a bunch of modern art all being sold at one time, then I think that would be a good place for it to go. But again, if it's just a general auction and it's one piece in the mix, you would want to make sure in any event that you had some sort of a reserve on it, because auctions can be tricky. It can be that two people love it and they go crazy for it, or it could be that it's in with a bunch of other stuff and, gee, there's other things in the catalog that for whatever reason are more exciting to the audience that day, or that the person who specifically likes Dali isn't there, and then it ends up selling to a dealer at a wholesale price, and I don't think you would be happy with that. I think you would, in that case, it would have been better off to sell it directly yourself on eBay. So, and again, because these are neat pieces, I really like them, but they're not rare. They're scarce-ish, but they're not rare. It's not like he only did 5 of them and that's all there are in existence. So because of that, if it were me, honestly, I'd probably be most inclined to put it in your eBay store and take your time and wait to sell it that way. Even though eBay's commissions have gone up some, I still think it would be comparable or less than you would find at an auction house. But if you want to test it and also to get additional information on values that are going to be people objectively saying what they see in their market, take information, send it to a few auction houses and ask for pre-auction estimates and see what their level of interest is. And if they say, gosh, we have someone who comes in and buys every Dali print that we get and we are really hungry for them, that might be the place to send it. And if they say, oh yeah, we see those and sure they sell for something and yeah, you can send it to us, that might not be the place. I think you want somebody that's really focused and specialized or very enthused and feels they have a buyer. Otherwise, you're just as capable of finding that buyer as they are.
Wow, that is excellent advice. I really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, George.
Yeah, and I'm a big Beatles guy, and I know that Dali was friends with John Lennon. There are some there's photographs of the two of them together, because he had that crazy mustache, he had the big eyes, you know what I mean? And I didn't know, like an Andy Warhol or Keith Haring, like he's like a pop artist, but like you said, when there's a lot of them, it's not as, but the artist proof, like you said, the EA in French, and then that it's signed, when I do promote it on my eBay store, maybe really I got a dozen pictures, promote that fact that,
Take all of, I would say that. I would definitely name drop with Dali, because I think younger people are impressed with that. Older people in the art world actually were less impressed with him because he enjoyed his celebrity and his fame in his lifetime. There's pictures of him hanging out at Studio 54 in the late 70s, and he was having a great old time. And I have to be honest, I'm a big fan of his, and I find that really appealing about him. I like artists who made it, were famous in their time, and didn't have to wait to be dead before somebody noticed that they did good work. And I think the fact that he reveled in it is a wonderful thing. But there are some art snobs who say, oh, well, that makes him sort of a crass commercialist, and we don't want that. Well, you know what? They're not going to buy that piece, so who cares?
Yeah, and I also read one last thing. I'll let you go. We appreciate your time. After 1980, And I don't know if it had anything to do with the murder of John Lennon, December 8th, 1980, but I understand he didn't sign stuff in the 80s. Once it was earlier. Is that true that you said that he signed a lot of proofs early on and just left them blank, or what?
Yes, I think that was in the late 70s he was doing that, and then I think by the 80s he really slowed down and stopped. I mean, he was quite elderly by then, and I think that he was kind of feeble, and he just stopped being. I think he started to live a quieter, more secluded life at that point.
Awesome. Hey, and one final thing. If you ever get to our area, because we're not that far away from Renninger's, we call it Thrifty Row, and it's here in Lebanon County, just over the Berks County line, and there's like about a dozen or so thrift stores all within a few miles. You would get a lot of episodes, and if you needed a guide, I'd be happy to go with you and show them if you're ever in my area.
It would be so fun. I would love to do that, and I actually have reason to travel that way. I have someone in New York I really need to visit who has, I bought things from her last year, and I really need to go that way again. I'm just having the hardest time finding a time to schedule that, so if I get to the area, I would love to meet you, and that would be a lot of fun.
Right back at you. George, thank you so much, and keep up the great work. We're big fans as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you. It's really nice to hear that, and it's really nice to make your acquaintance, and I hope that if this sells for you, that you can take the money and do something nice with your family, or take a trip, or just do something fun with it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, George. We appreciate your working with us, and I have not had any other episodes like this one. So the first time is, the best one, I guess. So we'll go with your wisdom and see how it works out.
Yeah, we watched your Renninger's Adamstown while we had our breakfast, and my dad's like, "Wow!" He's very impressed.
Well, thank you. I sure had a lot of fun doing that, and I really enjoy the business, and I like helping people. And I will say one thing about appraisals. Appraisals are an opinion of value. That's one of the first things they teach you in appraisal school, and so that's why, even though you've got my opinion now, you have some ways to get some other opinions too if you feel that you want them. There are other options out there for you, and I would encourage you to do whatever makes you feel comfortable with the decision you make, but I think you have a nice piece, and I think it will sell.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really good to meet you folks.
You too. Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was great. Wasn't that great? Wasn't that cool with George the Antique Nomad? Wow, that was awesome. So we're back out, and Dad and I are out, and he's using his new camera, his new lens, trying to take some pictures of some farms here in beautiful Lancaster County. It's been windy all day. And overcast and sunny, and then rainy, and then sunny and overcast, but the wind looks pretty. But we're having a great time.
There it is. Okay.
Got it?
I got it.
All right.
Yeah. You gotta get.
And here we are at Middle Creek Wildlife Preserve. This is where everybody comes to see the snow geese. And what are they, the trumpeter swans, or in February and early March, but most of those, I call them the white birds and long necks. They're quite a sight to see. We'll have to shoot a video on season, but we might find some bald eagles today.
What's that up there on that lake? Could be keep going.
PA.gov. The interior part of the tour route that runs just north of the main lake is open seasonally from March 1st to September 30th. Starting October 1st, the road is closed to all traffic, including foot or bicycle traffic. For more information on when the interior roads are open at Middle Creek, please pick up a brochure at the Middle Creek Visitor Center.
From 1965 to 1972, 63 families' properties were bought by the Game Commission or acquired by eminent domain. The main dam structure was built, creating a 400-acre lake, and over 20 shallow water impoundments and wetlands were formed. Fields were also prepped for usage of waterfowl. In 1973, 10 years after the project monies were allocated, the Middle Creek Visitor Center opened its doors to the public. Today, Middle Creek Wildlife Management Area is funded and maintained mostly by hunters' license dollars, and in combination with State Game Lands 46 is made up of 6,254 acres. Stay tuned for more history on Middle Creek's information station.
While enjoying all that Middle Creek has to offer, please remember to adhere to all posted signs while traveling along the tour route. Areas marked as controlled area or propagation area are closed to the public at all times of the year, with the exception of permitted hunts that take place during hunting seasons. Please note that drones are also illegal to use at Middle Creek as they cause disturbance to wildlife. Want to learn more about the wildlife and management at Middle Creek? Visit our visitor center, located at 100 Museum Road in Stevens. Hours of operation are Tuesday
There's some
through Saturday,
mallards and some wood
12
ducks.
p.m. and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. The visitor center is closed seasonally from Thanksgiving to...
That's good.
I don't know if you can see the ducks there. But it's interesting, you see a lot of signs for no drones, Tucker. Guess you wouldn't be able to fly your drone because they're afraid there's so many birds that gather here at Middle Creek that they don't allow you to fly drones. So keep your drones at home.
All right, and we are off here at Middle Creek Wildlife Management Area. This is just a wonderful place to go, even if you're not into wildlife photography. If you like to go hiking, you like to go walking with your dog on a leash, just take your binoculars. It's a lot of fun to drive through here. And February and early March is when they have the snow geese and the trumpeter swans, I believe they are. I'm not sure, but the waterfowl migration, and it brings people from all over the world, and they have their cameras and their big telephoto lenses, and you'll see some of that for the next video with the Conowingo Dam there, just over the Pennsylvania border into Maryland. And we had a great time down there. But this is just a wonderful drive. My dad loves photography, and we just had a fantastic time. And this is located in Stevens, PA. I think a little bit's located in Lebanon County, and then I guess over the county line into Lancaster County. But yeah, definitely if you get a chance to go to Middle Creek Wildlife Management Area, it is gorgeous. They have a visitor center, and it's just a way to get away from the rigmarole of daily life, some of the stresses, and just relax and enjoy. In fact, let's do that right now with some music as we drive through.
listen to the sounds. You hear it? Yeah. Very loud.
There's some ducks out there too.
If I had a long boom mic,
Right there, and then
I would come out here and record all these sounds. They're just so beautiful in nature.
Yeah.
That was interesting. always exciting to be here at the basin of the falls here at Middle Creek. never know what wildlife you're gonna find, and just the landscape, it's just beautiful. Yep, that's where we started over there. Yep. Fun. Okay, that was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for coming along and hanging out with us. It was great to spend more time with my dad. He's with us for a few days. And George the Antique Nomad, that was really cool too. And Middle Creek Wildlife Refuge Center is awesome. Ollie. I'm Mighty Mike. Don't forget to follow us. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Flickr, we have an eBay store, we're on Twitter, and we're now on TikTok. I'm Mighty Mike. Happy picking, everybody.